Hi folks, Mark Merrill with Firm. A reality check is what we're doing this time, called What is Plain Truth? Who knows that answer? Is the truth of a particular issue or debate or argument based on an individual's personal opinion? I hardly think so. If that's the case without any laws in our legal system, I can certainly go on forever to list hundreds of people that belong in prison or who should have faced convictions and put on death row by now. In the meantime, Americans, in our divided nation of guilty until proven innocent, if ever, it seems to never get resolved, whatever that issue is, or charge, or indictment. We're barely scratching the so-called truth to power surface while dodging evidence or bury the facts and ignore them. There's also creation of political think tanks to bully and blame opponents. Or how about the most recent historical events like, was George Floyd really murdered by a Minnesota cop who knew him well? Or how about the ongoing fiasco of real or fake evidence of the Jeffrey Epstein files? Here on the home front in Maine, our own government under Janet Mills commits perjury, fraud, overspends budgets into the billions of dollars, and then tries to bully and blame two GOP legislators, one into censorship, which was reversed on appeal, you may recall, and the other being sued for actually obeying and following the letter of the law on violations of child labor laws. Litigation still pending in the court system. What is it? It's about time we, the people, all put our feelings and emotions and emoticons on a big stop button. That's what. And start worthwhile talking face to face to settle any and all problems in government, society, and culture, so we can still save our republic for not only our now adult children, but 2 or 3 generations from now. Because no individual human, including me, is greater or more powerful than any other human anywhere on Earth. Oh, hey, by the way, can we talk? Mark Merrill for Firm. The issue at hand once again, folks, in this kind of a part 2 on LD 2239, an act to designate school sports participation in facilities by sex, has been debated and opposed by Campaign for Free and Fair Schools. We've already been through that. Also, for additional information, and we'll post it up here in our comments and notes, the Maine Judiciary Committee's public hearings, testimonies of all people both in support and in opposition on April 14th can be looked up on legislature.maine.gov, but we'll give you more of a specific way to find the testimonies so you can judge for yourself. After all, it's a free country, no matter who tells you it isn't. Now, just one more final thing here, folks. We want to bring up on the left, or should we say the ones we just mentioned to you here, as the people who are trying to say they think that the billionaire-backed ballot measure, LD 2239, would open up a can of worms, kids to harassment, strain schools, cost parents money, so on and so forth. Here's what some of that looked like just the other day.
It's crazy early for crazy politics, but here we are. My name is David Farmer, and I'm the campaign manager. I'm going to pause for just a moment.
That's fine.
News Center. Media bias right there. Fake news. I just hold it like I'm on each show. Let's see. There you go.
They're gonna have to.
No pressure. Nobody's watching. That's all right. You want to set it? Would that work for you? Well, it's all right. We got, we can cut. I can cut my remote. Yeah, you got it. Are we good? I'll start again. My name's David Farmer. I'm the campaign manager for the Campaign for Free and Fair Schools. What that means is...
What it means is danger, folks. Another attorney, a civil rights attorney that spoke for Don't Let Billionaires Bully Maine Kids and the organization of Campaign for Free and Fair Schools, the way it's worded without the word gender in it is unworkable, she said, representing GLAD. You all know who that is, don't you? The big bad wolf of gay rights all over the country. She, the attorney, said it's a proposal that is unworkable for schools, costly for taxpayers, baloney, and harmful not just for transgender students, but for all Maine students. Wrong! Biased! Biased as you know what. Lying your face off. The attorney also spoke on the 14th of April, saying that a group of civil rights advocates, educators, and LGBTQ, there it is, plus leaders, formed to oppose a referendum question that would roll back protections for trans school kids under the Maine Human Rights Act. Gotcha! The Maine Human Rights Act was altered by former Attorney General and a real bad one, Janet Mills, a couple of years ago, to include the word gender and sex under the Maine Human Rights Act. Not anything to do with Title IX. Only at the time when it was endorsed and ratified in 1972, talking about sexual orientation, and that was it. Gender wasn't even on the mind of Democrats, let alone anybody else in the country back then, folks, and it still shouldn't be. So Mr. Farmer decided he was going to go after them, meaning the billionaires. Out-of-state megadonor Richard Uihlein and his wife. The initiative is a part of a broader political strategy, said Mr. Farmer, the campaign spokesperson you just saw. The far right is rolling it out in other states, and although its name refers to sports, the question would, in fact, require schools to segregate private spaces. What? Based on sex assigned at birth, and likely open the door to lawsuits against schools. When you talk about twisting the truth. Mr. Farmer concluded on that Tuesday event, this will come down to whether Maine people believe all kids deserve to feel safe and respected at school. Don't speak for us, you moron, you minion head, you opinionated, blow-hearted, left-wing, radical, rear-ended piece of crap. Now here's one little fact at the end of that tabloid trash statement. The proposal is expected to appear on the November ballot this year. Opponents say the coming months will bring an influx of outside spending and messaging, and they urged voters to look closely at what they see as a real-world consequence for Maine students. Nope. Ain't gonna happen. Put them aside for right now, ladies and gentlemen, because right now we're going to bring in the billionaires in question. There they are. So we adjust our camera here a little bit. You see before you Mr. and Mrs. Richard and Elizabeth Uihlein. In this brief biography, folks, we will tell you up front and accurate from our research that we do all the time, folks, here at Firm, Fairness in Reporting Media, Mark Merrill, as we continue on talking about what is the plain truth. The Uihleins supported this bill some months ago, maybe even further back. Just to give you an idea of their background. Richard was born to Schlitz beer founder descendant and noted conservative Edgar Uihlein and Lucia Ellis Uihlein. He graduated from Phillips Andover and from Stanford University with a BA in history, and until 1980, more recent, Mr. Uihlein worked in international sales for General Binding Corporation, a company his father co-founded, Edgar. Now, some of you leftists out there might find this one interesting. You want to call me something in the category of a hypocrite, full of hypocrisy, Mr. Merrill. No, I'm not. I'm all about truth, facts, reality, and common sense. Get used to it. I've been doing this for a long time. 30 years. Combined. Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. Stick with me and pay attention. Get the wax out of your ears. His father was a prominent conservative figure in the 60s and 70s. He sat on the John Birch Society Finance Committee. Oh my gosh. Donated to the presidential campaign of segregationist candidate George Wallace. Oh no! And supported General Edwin Walker, who led an insurrection in response to the racial integration of the University of Mississippi at the time. Elizabeth, his wife you see here, was born to Robert Emerson Hallberg, an auto company executive, and Elizabeth Pierce Hallberg of Winnetka, Illinois. Her sister, Catherine Hallberg, died in 1997. She's the cousin of Martin Hansen, a Wisconsin environmentalist who fought for federal protection of Lake Superior Apostle Islands. Uihleins have 3 children. The primary residence is in Illinois. In 1980, as far as business activities, folks, startup funds from Richard's father, Elizabeth and Richard founded Uihlein, different spelling than their name. The company that was founded was spelled Uline, same pronunciation. But it's a shipping supplies company. The company expanded rapidly, and today is now one of the largest privately held U.S. companies. And in 2014, just 11 years ago, almost 12, Forbes magazine established and estimated its value between $700 million and $2 billion. As of 2020, the company had around 7,000 employees, and Elizabeth is the company's president, and Richard is the CEO, you see here. And their children hold executive roles at the same time. That makes it seem a little bit easier to take, folks. Does to me. Now, to get more down and dirty to it, folks, or should say bottom line would probably be better. We use the dirt more for the Democrats, I think, which should be the better way to go about it. Since just recently read to you here that Mr. Farmer called the, the Uihleins an out-of-state mega donor, and his initiative is to be a part of a broader political strategy The far right is rolling out in other states. Although the name refers to sports, the question would in fact require schools to segregate private spaces based on sex assigned at birth and likely open the door to lawsuits against schools. This biography on them about the truth, folks, certainly wipes that right off the map, doesn't it? The Uihleins, or I should say Richard, really, to be more specific, is the biggest donor to Women's Speak Out PAC, a group seeking a federal abortion ban. Got that? Richard Uihlein is the biggest donor to Women's Speak Out PAC, a group seeking a federal abortion ban, and has also donated millions to Restoration PAC, according to which all marriage is for one man and one woman in life. He supports conservative groups and candidates including Ted Cruz, Roy Moore, the Club for Growth, and Illinois Policy Institute. Uihlein also has been a major donor to Liberty Principles PAC, American PAC, and Scott Walker. From 2016 to 2018, a political action committee, the Uihleins, gave at least $646,000 to a new network of free newspapers and websites created by Brian Timpone that mimics local newspapers but offers pay-for-play articles to conservative clients. That enough? So, ladies and gentlemen, of the biological kind, what's so bad about billionaires making donations to good causes? Good organizations around the world for the better of humanity? Nothing. That's what. As always, folks, Mark Merrill for Firm, Fairness in Reporting Media. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can reach us that amount of time, anytime. Fairness in Reporting Media at gmail.com, Fairness in Reporting Media at gmail.com. We are on YouTube, Twitter, or X, and Substack. Pray for our country. Please pray for our future. Change in politics. Even in our neighborhoods, folks. Our own towns and counties. Must start picking up the pieces and move out the Democrats. Everyone stay safe. Peace to all.